Hello! Pew pew, mother trucker. Thanks, Petro. If you want to listen to that intro music, you can play Star Citizen, or listen to Pedro Camacho's channel, where he has lots of music and more. How's everyone doing? I will talk about lots of things today. Yes, we can talk about Noobify's video. If anyone wants to ask any questions, please put question in brackets. I'm not going to be streaming too long today. I actually came home early from iSeries, from I-62, at least over a day early, actually, because I felt really ill, and I was like, I feel really ill. I still feel pretty fucking ill, slightly worse, in fact. However, being able to rest in bed has been pretty good. I'm having a doctor's appointment tomorrow because I think I have appendicitis, because I'm in quite a lot of abdominal pain. Although, I could just need a poo, or because I'm very unfit, I might have just strained myself, because I did travel a reasonable distance walking and I was carrying a lot. So it's probably just a strain, but I'm being extra cautious because, yeah, a little bit of ACD. And you should always make sure your body is in fully functional water. But if it's just a poo, then that's all right, I'll make sure I mention it on Twitter or something. We're at over 100,000 subs. I went to iSeries, the biggest gaming festival over the weekend, which is really cool. And I want to talk about some of the stuff that I saw there, because I was talking to a company called Shadow. I'll talk about that now, actually, quickly. So there's this company called Shadow, and similar to GeForce Now, basically they leverage cloud-based GPUs and cloud-based PCs to give you a experience of gaming's high spec on any device that has an interface and a screen. So you can effectively potentially play Star Citizen on your phone, leveraging their services. And I talked to Shadow, and they very much said, yes, Star Citizen works with it. We will continue to work to make our services better for Star Citizen, and you'll be able to run the game in 4K and things like that. So it's something I'm going to be looking into properly. I'm talking to these guys more because I'm like, well, this is a really good route into gaming for anyone and any device. This is awesome. But it's, obviously there's concerns about latency and delay and all that sort of jazz as well. So I will talk about it once I know more. But if people want to have a look at that, there's Shadow, who charge a monthly subscription, and then they constantly upgrade their tech. And there's GeForce Now as well. GeForce Now is currently, you have to request beta. It's free in beta, but it might be a subscription-based service. Almost certainly it'll be a subscription-based service when it's done. But cloud-based GPUs, potentially where the future's going. We'll have to wait and see. I will, once I have an actual play with them myself a lot, I will tell you if I think they're any good for the Star Citizens. There's lots of other cool things I want to talk about today that other people have made. I've been a bit out of the loop. I've only been able to catch up on patch notes and news. Obviously, 3.1 is now live. Woo! Now, for me, it's got a lot of what I wanted 3.1 to have. However, there's still problems. People are still getting crashes. Some people are still getting trash performance. Other people are getting much better performance. Other people are having less crashes. It's a mixed bag for different people. However, there's a lot more accessibility to gameplay. People are losing large amounts of their Alpha UEC due to crashes. Like their ship will be carrying all of their monies and they'll just lose it because server crash or client crash or whatever. And I was hoping that you'd spawn immediately back where you disconnected in that case. But they haven't got that form of persistence yet. The persistence they've gone for in 3.1 in the shorter term is you can spawn in Grimhex or Port Olisar or whatever, the last of the major hubs that you visited. Which is a bit annoying. I wanted full bed, log in, log out, wherever I was. If I've crashed or whatever, that would have been
Tricksy
a lot
little hobbitses.
Thank you very much, Citizen Stand Man. I love your face. Very much appreciated for the Subaru. But 3.1, pretty good for me. Like, playing a little bit of Arena Commander. It is relatively dominated Arena Commander by the top, if you're playing PvP, the top, the fighters. And then, obviously, there are issues at the moment with people having weapons that other people don't. So what we really need in the game is to be able to buy ships with Alpha UEC that we can also use in Arena Commander, and to buy all the new weapons. Now, we can kind of do that with the Electronic Access Store, admittedly. So I do encourage people to play Arena Commander, to play Vandal Swarm and Pirate Swarm, which is, for me, a lot better. Like, that's one of the major things I wanted from 3.1, and they've delivered with that a bit. Well, a lot, actually. I'll give them credit. There's just other stuff that I was hoping for with 3.1, which we're going to have to wait for a later patch. But there's a lot more access to gameplay in 3.1. The moons look a load better. Interdiction works a lot better. I mean, it's still not perfect. Service beacons are absolutely great. There's reasons to hunt down pirates now. Combat with those pirates isn't super trash anymore. Still needs work, though. Everything needs a bit of work. You can character customize as well. Lots of new weapons. The Reclaimer is amazing. The Cyclone doesn't even make that sound. The Cyclone's amazing as well. And that Dune Buggy probably and the Reclaimer kind of make this patch for me. But yeah, it's a mixed bag for performance for people. People saying that it's got worse performance than 3.0.1. I do not agree at all. I'm getting significantly higher frames. That might be because I've got it installed with the latest graphics drivers on an SSD, on an Optane SSD. Actually, it's not on my Optane at the moment, because I've been testing on my Samsung Evo 960 SSDs. I've got 32 gigs of RAM, I've got a single 1080 Ti, and I've got an 8700K processor. I've got quite a beastly rig. But it shouldn't make so much of a difference. And all my stuff is sort of like tweaked for Star Citizen. So I want to bring your attention to that thing. Massive self-promotion. I'm such a shill. So I've got a new website. And this website is primarily for Star Citizen articles and videos and tips and stuff. So in it, I'll have my all the guides that I make, such as my latest 3.1 performance guide, which is still being written. But for example, you can go there, have a look at it. It's got lots of tips and stuff for making Star Citizen run significantly better. And then links and signposting to other things, including the latest graphics card drivers. And the idea is that as part of my daily routine, I go onto the website and I double check. Sound for being hosted, so I thank you very much for the host. Love your face. Much appreciate, Serenity. Is it you, Serenity? Yes, it is. Thank you very much. I check to make sure we've got the latest graphics card drivers, they're available, and all that sort of stuff. See if anything's changed with anything, and then work out what video I'm going to do for the day, and do an article on it, and then do a video on it. And I'll keep track of all the patch notes and all the troubleshooting and any other people's articles and that sort of stuff as well. So I want listings for all the orgs that I've done in the org spotlight. I want listings for my radar because it's basically a sponsor for me for this month. However, they do stuff for Star Citizen. Potentially, with Star Citizen, they're going to have integration with Star Citizen in the future, potentially. But you can see the 3 moons in the Crusader system at the moment. But it's a real-life weather app that has weather data for moons. I think that's pretty cool. But anything that I do like that will have some sort of relation with Star Citizen. But I want listings for that on the website. Also, people like Haskahar, Zenthor, and what's his fucking channel name? It's Alexander Belov, but it's Nirianya. Or I can't say his name. They have some amazing content that I don't talk about much. Obviously, all the guys like Redacted and Twerk and BoredGamer when he does his streams, but Sumac Brothers, lots of people, Nubify, the amazing content, and you see that content a lot of the time. But some of these guys that do the screenshots, some of these guys that do the artwork and stuff, I've got loads of these screenshots on my Narian. No one's ever said it to me. I've only ever read it. Loads of his screenshots on my wall. Actually, my room is done as well. Let's show that off. My room is done. So that's some of his. Where's the camera? Oh, no, that's the floor. That's a load of his artwork on my wall that I got. And stuff over there. I reserve the right to remove the pictures and move them around. Got bass traps in the corners. I've got some soundproofing. I've got lots of sound dampening stuff. I need to clear off that desk. That is my microphone, and that is my rig. I've cleaned out the radiators. People were complaining the radiators weren't clean. I think that's another one of. Is that Haskahaz? Haskahaz pictures. But the room is pretty done now. There's a fire. Oh no! I missed something else. I'm supposed to then. But there is some cool stuff being made by other content creators that may make some physical products and some other cool stuff that may or may not be attending BritisonCon. There's quite a few actually from different ones, and there's some pretty cool stuff that I'm looking forward to seeing. But I want you guys to check these guys out, and I'm going to have listings for them on my website. I give out the radiators, yeah. I'm sorry, like I will do that like monthly. Do some maintenance on my PC because effectively you guys have paid for it. And sometimes I'm a bit lazy, so apologies for that. But I do want you guys to these some of these screenshots, man. Like, they're so well done. They are so beautiful. And I'm more shilling for these guys as well because I love their work, but also they let me use their screenshots for things like artwork and thumbnails and my website. So I love you guys. You're fucking amazing. That is what I want to show in the background, actually. So let's do that. Bear with me 1 second. I'm going to go to my editor. I'm going to go to chat. It's showing that video, but I want it to show a video.
I'm dodging bullets. Like,
thank you very much, Alfred. Love your face. My Discord server never announced the stream. Announce it! Announce it for me, Alfred. Thank you. Media source. I want to show off one of Nirianian's comparison videos that he's just done. Because I watched it and I was like, oh wow. I'm a very middling content creator. I'm just very good at, like, you know, talking and trying to get the community involved. stuff. Where is the things? Recording. No, storage. Yes, storage. Downloaded videos. Comparison video. This is the shit. It's so this is Ariane's video. Transform. Trace the screen. And then let's turn off. Where's the chat? What is chat? Let's have a look at this. I'll answer some questions. This was very impressive. So this is a comparison of 3.1 to 3.0.1. How the graphically it has changed. You should check this out here. This is probably the most impressive video I've seen for a while from people. It is very good. Feel free to... If the links remove the second... Oh, if I put something in wrong, I apologise. If you want to ask any questions, question in brackets, I will go through them. I'll start to go through them now, but I'm going to go through bits of news as I remember them. What's your take on the IFCS in 3.1 live? I mean, it's okay. It's still boosty and slidey at the moment. They need to work on the core combat still. It's not the sort of combat that I want. They need to work on it. Serialized variable culling, I believe, made it in. You should... Arena Commander is a playable experience now. We don't have the network culling fully in, so it's the secondary option, the serialized variable culling. Buying ships with Alpha UBC is not confirmed for 3.2, and we will talk about that in a minute, because it could potentially be in, but it might not be. It depends on people voting for stuff. So we will have a look at that in a second. Could you make a new PC vid on computer performance for future Star Citizen patch? A lot of the performance videos that I make at the moment would be semi-irrelevant because Star Citizen is so unoptimized. It's a lot better for 3.1, but it's still pretty rough around the edges. So it's just the best PC you can afford. I can, it's probably be better as an article. I've got some updated performance guides on my website now as well. You cannot has 8700K. No! Thoughts on upgrading Cutlass Black to Taurus? I think the Taurus is a cool ship. It depends. If you've got a couple more friends that you wanted to play with, then the Taurus is a great idea. Let's turn the camera down a little bit. I love the Cutlass Black though at the moment as well, so it depends what you want. If you've got more friends, go for the Taurus. If not, then stay with the Cutlass Black potentially. Yeah, they both work as a main ship, I think. Yeah, so there's from the posters of Diva and Mercy that I've got. I did really love Overwatch when it first came out. However, I get a bit stressed and salty, and I hate the community in Overwatch. It is so toxic, and it's not the whole community, admittedly. And I get a bit salty when I play it, so I kind of stopped playing so much. I might look at it again, Overwatch, if I can control my man rage. But they're from deviant artists that I really like. Like, I was like, oh my god, these are so good. Yeah, the, like, Zenthors and Hazgahaz and Nirians, all their visuals, all their screenshots, and their videos that they do are just all fucking superb. They've got an eye for art. Bored, can we see some of your tattoo? I've only got one tat. Zombies run tat. Love you, Huntress. Huntress paid me a significant amount of money, as we were joking on stream about we would do anything for money, and then said we'd dress up as Japanese schoolgirls and walk around. Just, you know, that's pretty tame. But Huntress went, have some money then, I want to puppet your strings. Look at the changes in the size of the double O pad with the reclaimer on it. So around I-62 on the Saturday, we were dressed as Japanese schoolgirls for most of the day. I've got lots of pictures. I will get those up once the others get back. I came home a day early, and they're on their way home now. Thank you. So with the website, that will evolve. I got it up just right. Went bam, wham, done. Let me. I feel like put this bad boy up here or something. There we go. There we go. Now you can see this in all its glory without my stuff getting in the way. I turned off announcing from my own streams. I think I was supposed to put it in the Twitters. You know, type it in the Twitters, and then it announce it in my Discord. But I'm the worst Huntress. Yes, see? Yeah. For the links, remove the second / forward. Apologies. I'm very sorry. I'm the worst. Phoenix Emerald, I would have preferred them to sell it as a skin. However, I'm very, very happy for CIG to make money by selling exclusive skin ships and exclusive skins and stuff. I think that's a very good way of monetizing their game. I know you asked this already, but I forgot. If you told me, what did CIG tell you about the F8A body upgrades thing? Oh! I can't remember. I'll have a look through my notes, Kieran. If I can remember something about that or asking something about that. They're adding lots and lots and lots of stuff to performance this year, including network variable culling and object container streaming is the major one, and then server meshing. There's lots and lots and lots of different performance things going in this year. Around 3.3, more likely 3.4 in December. That is when you will have the biggest performance for Star Citizen, the best performance that we've had so far, and kind of more solidified into that, because we're about to have lots more players in areas, and all of the tech that they want will be in its infancy, sort of like there, rather than them having to bodge stuff in, going, well, we haven't got object container streaming in yet, so we're having to make do with running all this stuff without object container streaming, without network culling. So that's when it's going to be much more sit down and play for people that are not interested in the project so much. So like my friends, they want to play Counter-Strike or Left 4 Dead or whatever, or sit down and play a game that is finished or has lots of gameplay available. That's when it's a good idea to get them involved. What's that Erin said to me anyway. And you can see that from the roadmap as well. What is the main component? That's what we just talked about. There's quite a lot. Upgrading Cutlass to Taurus as main ship would lose my Buccaneer and get a Titan instead. Thoughts? An Avenger Titan. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The Buccaneer's going to be quite a good fighter. It depends on what you want to do. Yeah, the ESP is a bit weird at the moment, isn't it? Like, it didn't work before in 3.0.1, so you turned it off. And then this one, it's sort of like a bit weird. Yeah, so I agree with some of the points of Nooba Fire's Enough is Enough. Like, there's quite a lot to break down there, but basically, he was going on about, it's a bit confusing having all these different things with the sales and lifetime insurance and 5-year and 4-year and 3-year and 7-year insurance and stuff. It's kind of irrelevant. Anyone can get lifetime insurance if they really try, and it's a bit unfair to new players. That they sort of like need to give all ships lifetime insurance. And then do sales by going, well, you get a discount if you buy the ship, and then after 2 weeks or a month or whatever, it goes up to its full price. He just wants to simplify it all so it's the buying system is easier for a player. And he's been talking about this for a while. He's just fallen slightly on deaf ears. He's right about it. Like, there needs to be some changes for the player experience. There needs to be a lot of it's artificial scarcity that they kind of use to hype up the sell of the ships. It's right. I want the game to make, I know, 250 million. That's the sort of like figure I have in my head where I think, yeah, that's enough for them to make pretty much everything they wanted. That's 2 years away, and then we'll have a beta. They make around 36 million a year just from ship sales, and that's without Squadron 42 being sold as a finished product. When the game's close to being out, they're going to make a load more, and then when they've got all the other systems in. And I think that the new player's got a lot of good points, a lot of good merit. I might do. Maybe it'll be a good idea, and maybe it will help both our channels if I did a reply video to that, talking about what I agree with, what I don't agree with, potentially, because there's some things that I would do slightly differently, I suppose, and then give my input to what I think. I mean, we don't know everything. We only have our own opinions.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
Do you love me like I love you?
Thank you. I love you too, Garen. I love your face. Garen had to deal with some annoying people on the Discord the other day. Or earlier today, in fact. And so I appreciate that. I've got some very good mods. And some very mad ones like you had, Chis. I love you so much. I love you all so much. Thank you. Happy Easter for anyone that celebrates Easter. Happy Easterval. Happy weekend of a different religion for people that don't. Yeah. I can't eat. Oh, I've been eating Maltesers. Shouldn't be eating Maltesers. I'm on a massive diet because I'm a fat bastard. I'm not crashing much. However, when I was experimenting with trying to close the user.cfg settings, trying to close the launcher while playing, I was experiencing lots of weird bugs and crashes and stuff. But I was trying to break the game, and I still do. Star Citizen is very much for testing. It's going to be for testing for a long time. I love you. Who? Ha. No. What happened? Thank you, Alfred. Love your face. Thank you very much for the sub. So, I mean, I'm getting 40, 50 frames in the PU. It does dip down to 25 occasionally, and on some servers I'm going to get shitty frames. Definitely. So, we are expecting to buy ships in-game, with in-game currency, in 3.2. That is the hope, okay? Now, there is a survey. I'm really sorry for having to hide this beautiful stuff that is happening. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah. Where's the 3.2 survey? 3.2 feature survey. There it is. There is this feature survey, which you should get involved with. Desktop. So this is the feature survey. This is asking backers what they want them to focus on polishing and getting ready for 3.2. Now, it's very possible that all of this will make it into 3.2 at different levels of completion and polish. So you should have a read. I've got a video on it as well if you don't want to read. Have a look and then have your say. And the actual survey is at the bottom, and then you choose what you think features are your highest priority that you like in-game. Other than mining, which is going to be in, what major system you want them to focus on and definitely get in, sort of thing, out of salvage, repair, and refueling. And potentially they'll all still be in, but at just at different levels. So have a read, have a look, and kind of choose what you think is the most important. However, the economy/shopping UI experience is required for ships to be sold for Alpha UEC in-game and for weapons and stuff. So for me, the economy and shopping experience, these extra shopping kiosks allow weapons to be sold, and item system 2.0 is such a big core of the game that I think that these two things are the most important here. However, there is some other important things as well, based on what you think Star Citizen needs polishing on in the short term. They will all eventually make it in the game, in not just infancy, but in fully polished, fleshed out mediums. However, these surveys are probably going to be the norm going on, asking us what features we want in the shorter term to be polished for completion. And 3.2 will be coming in June. However, there will be a PTU and Evocati build of that coming between 4 and 2 weeks before that. So end of June. Please get involved with that. I cannot I cannot reiterate how important that is. What else have we got here? I announced the giveaway in the video I did on the other day. I think it was the Gaming Lemon. I also posted it on the Reddit. I didn't think I did it on the Discord this time, but I will do it in the Discord in a bit. I will, however, start posting them up on the website. I will have a giveaway section, or a section which people can click on. They can see all the giveaways from me, or potentially not just me, maybe other giveaways that I've identified from around the community as well. Have a look there and see what's happening and see all the previous winners and how you can get involved with other giveaways. Because maybe we will do giving away like tumble cyclones for school screenshots or something. Yeah, well, okay, we'll have a little revision of that. But if you look down in my YouTube videos, there is the details of the winners as well. There's like the giveaway rules, which I do all the time. Any word on updating the loaner matrix? I want the Cyclone loaner. Okay, for your RN. They will probably get that up this week. I don't know that for a fact. It's just likely they'll go, shit, and you get the loaner ships, the loaner vehicles out. They should be updating that soon, Alfred. I will poke them on... if you remind me after this stream, I will poke them on the Twitters. Is it worth players that can properly do this recording their play sessions in the verse and keystrokes? Like, would that help if posted on to YouTube with proper labouring? Potentially. I can't see any harm in that. DC used to do that for Counter-Strike, and I quite liked it when because with Counter-Strike there's a system with Overwatch as well. It's called the Overwatch system for Counter-Strike, which allows you to see cheaters, or people that have been accused of cheating. You can work out if they're cheating. If I could see their keystrokes as well, that would be fucking amazing for identifying. But DC has his keystrokes, or has had his keystrokes on his stream shown before. So, yeah, if you did it properly, that would be pretty cool, I think. It might help. I can't see it not helping. Do you know what I mean?
Tricksy little hobbitses.
Should be hovering around. Thank you very much. Oh, Huntress is starting gifting subs to Longshot. Thank you very much for being forcibly subbed, Longshot. Huntress, you're a legend. Thank you. I will get the pictures up of I-62 in the videos probably later tomorrow. Potentially later tonight. But after this, I'm going to have a little bit of painkillers and have a lie down, because I'm in quite a lot of abdominal pain. I am hoping that it is just a strain. However, it wouldn't be awful if it was an appendix out. I don't have that an intensive job. Hopefully it would be like 2 days in hospital. Oh my god, I hate hospitals. I've got a little bit of a phobia of hospitals. But maybe just 1 day in hospital, and I can come here and just work. I-62 was great. I came home over a day earlier. I came home yesterday morning because I was in a lot of pain. I didn't sleep. I had a migraine. I felt like I had a fever, and then I had quite bad stomach pains. And I got home and I lay down and I was like, I'm dead. And then I was like, I've got appendicitis. And I was like, oh my god, these are all symptoms of appendicitis. So I've got a doctor's appointment tomorrow. I'm not doubled over in pain. I'm not going to die from appendicitis. And I heard that it gets really bad. You know you've got appendicitis before it becomes super dangerous. Yes, I've seen Nuafire's latest video and I talked about it earlier. I think it's got a lot of good points. I do think they overcomplicate stuff. I do think they push artificial scarcity. And I might actually do a reply video with talking about it, because I do think he's got a lot of good points. And there's some other stuff that I might do differently. And it's probably quite good banter between our channels now. I want to start pushing for that in the community. We've got a load of great content creators now, and a load of up-and-coming ones, and I need to start getting involved with them. Like East Gaming, he keeps on asking me to participate with him, and I keep on saying I will with some of his videos, and I've never got the time. So I'm really sorry about that, Mr. East, and I will plug your channel now, and I will... Okay. I always get your channel name wrong. I'm the worst. East. East Gaming UK. There we go. There's this man's channel. Go check it out. Except there's been an internal server error. Fine. He does loads of great breakdowns of devs and all that sort of talk from the Spectrum and forums and things. When will character location be saved? So the character location is saved to the last major place you've been, so Grimhex, Portal of the Tsar, that sort of stuff. We want it, obviously, so it's saved where you were. If you get disconnected, you can log straight back in. You can sleep in your bed and all that sort of stuff. Don't know when. It might be hotfixed in, because they definitely were working on it for 3.1. It might go into 3.2. Why doesn't every mission description include the objective's location, like which moon it's on? I find missions and star map navigation
Tricksy little
in general
hobbitses.
extremely clunky in this match still. Yeah, you're totally right. It's still a bit clunky. They are getting better and better with it. Just identify the problems, put it on the issue council, talk about it, and that sort of stuff will get fixed in the shorter term, because people go, well, it needs to be ergonomic. This stuff needs to be as ergonomic as possible. Thank you very much, Oakland, UK. Oakland. But you're totally right, it needs it. Saw huge, personally saw huge improvements in frame rates, 15 to 25 in 3.0, 45 to 55 in 3.1. Yeah, I mean, I'm having 40 frames plus almost all of the time, and then 60 in lots of areas where I'd normally have 20 previously. So it's been great performance for me. Maybe not 60, no, like between 55 and 60. Constant variables, you can't say that. This is the sort of shit I read out when I'm being an idiot. Hairy Manly Man. It is more playable for me and some people. However, it is not a sit down and play game yet. It is very much an alpha. It is a very fun experience. There's a lot of gameplay there. You have to work for a lot of that gameplay. And there's no massive hooks to gameplay yet. You're not really working towards anything other than going, oh, this is pretty cool. Oh, this mission's cool. Oh, this is quite fun. And then obviously you've got lots of friends, you can do more. And obviously if you go, well, we're going to have a rally around Daymar on buggies, you can do a lot more. But it's finding that gameplay yourself. Star Marine and Arena Commander, so the Swarm modes, the PvP modes, and all that sort of stuff, is working pretty well, in my opinion. Still needs a lot more focus on the core combat. They need to work more on the IFCS. They need to work more on ESP. They need to work a lot more on weapon balance and stuff. But that is coming. That is constantly coming and building, and they are working towards it. So it's not just, oh, it's never going to be there. It gets better and better every patch. Oh, I accidentally skipped loads of stuff. Let's go back up here and then work our way back down. BoredGamer, what do you think of the fee pay system to pay for ships back with the big crash to desktop issues, and we got to pay big money to reclaim? Okay, so I see what you're saying there, but it's my brain cannot read it. So at the moment, one of the major issues in 3.1 is that crashes and losing your ship or whatever, especially if you've only got one ship, then leads to you having to wait several hours or more, obviously a lot less most of the time, but a lot of hours to reclaim your ship. And to have it expedited costs you a load of Alpha UBC, which you probably don't have if you've just lost your cargo ship with all of the juicy loot inside because of a crash. That is a major issue. They need to do something about it. Don't know what to do though in the short term, other than they'll just need to fix it. They'll need to either lower the cost of getting ships back, or have it so it's a lot shorter timer. But 3.1, we need to be able to buy ships with Alpha UBC. That's what it is. That's the main thing. As soon as we can do that, then we can walk towards that. And once we have a little bit more stability in the game, and we do have a lot more stability than 3.0, for me anyway. I know over the weekend they were restarting servers, and you still might get that. Today it is an Easter bank holiday as well, so obviously the UK studio is not there. So expect servers to be spun up and spun down. Yeah, so I've done a very, very brief 3.1 user.cfg guide update. Again, on my website, you'll find everything. It should be in sections that are relatively easy to find. Let's see if I can find it myself. Probably would have put it under guides. Might not have, though. Let's go to page 2. Alright, user.cfgs. Okay. I still need to go through them again, because that's for the PTU build, so that some of them might have been unlocked for 3.1. How do you like interdiction at the moment? It seems to work properly with asteroid fields pulling you out, the pirate ships with quantum beacons, etc. Quantum beacons, quantum disruption and interdiction is significantly better than 3.0.1. You don't get the buggy, crashy, slowdown mess that it used to be. There's not pirate ships everywhere. It's fun compared to what it used to be. You can use the service beacons if you can't defend yourself properly to get more people to jump in with you. It's relatively fun. It's a billion times better than it used to be. I quite like them. I haven't played that much 3.1 since it's come out because I was at I62, so I've only been able to play a limited amount. So there's lots of stuff that people are asking, like I don't 100% know because I haven't tested it enough. Like, when I've tested it, I've had a great experience, but there was probably like, 10 other people on my server. I think it's wrong to focus on the economy over FPS AI. No, FPS AI do need to be in. So those are my 3 choices. It would be Item System 2.0, the shopping experience, and FPS AI. And yes, 100% agree that FPS AI is really important, and some other stuff are really important. However, for me, it's not just what's the most important for the game, because it's all going to be there. It's important for me that this serves about short-term play. This is gameplay hooks, reasons to play. I don't want to sit down and just test different parts of Star Citizen for a couple of hours and go, well, I've done it all now. I want to be able to have gameplay loops that force me to go, well, not force me, but make me want to buy other ships. I want to buy a Reclaimer. I'll do it in game. It might take me 7 or 8 hours. Great. That's a load of testing I do. I work out efficient routes to do stuff. I get to test the economy. I try and effectively compete with other players to do cargo runs and stuff, and try and get money so I can buy my Reclaimer. Great. But yeah, FPS AI, 100% super important as well. I want enemies on the ground. I want those missions. That's a huge part of the gameplay. I want to have boarding actions where they defend themselves. Totally agree with you. Do you think the 890 jump will increase in size? Yes. What about its crew requirements? It's listed as 3 to 5, which is the same as the 600i. So the crew requirements is probably going to be relatively low. So yeah, I think probably 5. But then obviously it can have a lot more people inside. What's the status of last month's giveaway? Last month's giveaway was for the Pioneer, donated by Forgotten Heralds, our last featured org. And it went to the Gaming Lemon, I think it was. I did a video about it and I announced it on Reddit and stuff. Make sure you check out Narian's stuff. I'm going to run his video one more time through in the background because I jumped over it, but it's really fucking good. So what watching in the background there again is the comparison of graphic improvements and changes from 3.1 to 3.0.1. Vice versa. You know what I mean? Me, I am currently bored 3.2. Fuck off. Any word about the missing IFCS changes? They've made improvements to IFCS. It's just still not finished. They need more. Zombie Jesus, wow. I haven't used the medium helmet yet, so I will test this stuff out. Feel free to poke me if you want me to look at something in particular, but obviously for those sort of things, the community normally pretty quick to have them on the issue council. We have to pay insurance now, correct? Did cut the time down a bit, just wondering since I can only one ship, can't play for an hour. Yeah, at the moment the problem is that if you lose that ship, you're going to have to wait a long time, so you're going to have to jump off, or potentially get involved with some other people, and that's a bit of a shit. We need voice over IP pretty desperately as well in the game, better party systems, that sort of stuff. And some of that is obviously voice over IP isn't, but the party system improvements and quantum linking and stuff is in that survey. But I do think those other three things that I mentioned are personally more important to me. Why does CIG hate views out of our cockpits, and how much do we have to pay them to get them back? I think with the render to texture stuff, I think they might put drones and have cameras out of the cockpits. It doesn't even need to be drones, does it? Because they're going to have remote turrets. They're going to have those cameras on. So I think we'll start to get more views out of our cockpits. Or were you talking about literally in our cockpits, our views being too sunk down, which I think is an issue as well? Well, the Dragonfly... Okay, those hover bikes have techniques to them, which you can kind of bodge them to work. I think they'd be quite fun to race in. But obviously they don't fly as intended on ground, or hover on intended on ground. They'll keep on making them better with the Gravlev stuff. Yes, my new studio is fucking great. The audio quality is much better. I've been over-producing the sound audio on my latest videos, and I hope people are enjoying that. If they're not, they want me to scale it back a bit, please tell me on a video. That'd be appreciated. But the studio itself is great to work in. I can be much louder at random times of the day, so at 4 AM in the morning if I'm awake, I can record a video, I can do stuff now. And it's just much nicer. So, okay, some people just don't see certain things in the same way that others do, or have the same level of knowledge. So, yeah, people might not know the difference between response time, ping, lag, latency, all that sort of stuff, frame delay, whatever. Like it's just, yes, it's not ping. I have mistakenly perpetrated its ping before as well when I've misspoken. It's out for UEC, but yes, it's bullshit, isn't it? Thank you. I appreciate the prayers for health. I will be fine. Like genuinely, like I'm overly cautiously going to the doctor. So, was the economy normalized to all stations in 3.1? You can't do the same bullshit strats of running around. So I believe it is now normalized. I haven't checked to see if there's any exploit around it though. Yeah, exactly. So appendicitis apparently starts off quite mild and then gets very rapidly, like 6 to 24 hours, gets very bad. But it was pretty bad. It's just a lot better now. So, well, I feel a lot rougher now. But I have just been away for a weekend, so it's probably drinking and stuff. So they're just iterating on numbers for the reclaimers and stuff for those ships. That's why. So it's not. It's slightly more to the right side, and that entire area is super tender, like pushback tender. Fucking hurts. That's when I like release my hand from it. Not near the belly button. It might have been hurting by the belly button yesterday or potentially last night, but. I haven't played enough of 3.1 to be bored already, unfortunately. Yeah, I suspect another concept sale at the end of the month. They got some cool stuff coming from concept sales that I've seen. Some other stuff that I expect. I've done some videos on the stuff that I expect. In its current state, is Star Citizen worth buying? Not as a sit down and play game. It's if you love the idea of the project and you want to get involved with giving feedback and testing and occasional times where you're like, oh, I want to play Star Citizen for a few hours, that was cool, on to my next game, or you want to try and get competitive or play a lot of the Star Marine or Arena Commander, it really interests you in its limited sort of like levels, then yeah. However, if you don't, then don't. Wait until it like 3.4 towards the end of the year. I'm not having much lag or low or super low frames in the Persistent Universe anymore. Yeah, the claim is up to 8 hours, and most of the ships are less than 8, but with long rates regardless. Recommend that the expedite is nil/free. Maybe it should just be a percentage of your current money or something. Do you think we'll ever have an orbital bombardment mechanic, shooting at the ground targets from space with a capital ship? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they talked about it a long time ago and basically said no, but they talked about it more recently, and it looks like full combined arms now, because you've seen the planets. They're seamless. You can move between them, so you can fire between them. So we should have that combined arms combat from orbit shooting down. Will the Idris and Javelin and larger ships have an in-game intercom system inside? We need third-party comms. They should have intercoms inside. That's almost certain. You'll probably see that in Squadron 42, but they'll I suspect people are going to use third-party comms regardless anyway. But I think the comm system will be pretty robust when they're done with it. So many god beams and god brows. We need more persistence, totally agree. It's a major thing that's missing in 3.1. I thought they were going to have significantly more persistence, and they've only got a bit more. They are making progress with every patch. It's been a long road already, and it's going to be a longer road still. I mean, 2.5 years for a beta is very, very likely. Just bear that in mind. And use about these number links, so we're going to have to deal with them. So I don't. Thanks, Limo. I appreciate the sub, Limo. Ellie. Thank you. The memory leaks aren't so bad if you set your system, your page file on an SSD, just a single page file, and have Windows run it. And there's loads of other performance tweaks that you can
Tricksy
do.
little hobbitses.
In the short term, hopefully they'll fix it. If not, we're going to have to deal with them. I do not have so many problems, but I do have the game on a very fast SSD, and my system isn't. I've got 32 gigs of RAM, and my system is built to play Star Citizen. Yes, CIG need more money to fund Star Citizen. Of course they do. They're planning to go for another couple of years until we have a beta, and then beyond that, they want the game to be running for like 10, 15 years at least. After that, so yeah, they need more money to fund it. I'm expecting they will hit about 250 million in a couple of years, and that will be sort of like the amount they need to finish Star Citizen Squadron 42 fully. Hopefully Squadron 42 would have come out the year before at least, if not this year potentially. Do you have any ships you refuse to buy and want to earn in game? Yes, loads of them. I will buy ships for content and for doing videos on and for doing guides on, if I think that's worth doing it on the channel. However, I may have an account where I entirely just buy ships all in game and work out from the start, because, you know, that's good gameplay. We are going to start doing more gameplay on the channel as well. It's just I don't want it to overly affect the other content that I've got planned. I want my channel to have lots of Star Citizen news, related Star Citizen news, guides, tutorials, performance, lots of stuff like that, lots of technical, informative stuff. Obviously a bit of gameplay as well, but just not so much. Hi, BoredGamer, what are your thoughts on the current cockpit design and visibility in our ships? I need more visibility, please. The FPS is not garbage for me. It's significantly better, or at least a reasonable amount better than 3.0.1. Feel free to message me your fears and opinions, Citizen Moderate. I will always absorb opinions, even if I don't agree with them myself, just so I know what other people are thinking. I read a lot of stuff what other people refer to as shit or bullshit or watch crappy content. I watch a lot of trash anime as well. But I like absorbing all of it, and even if I don't agree with your opinions, I'd like to see where you're coming from. So always feel free to message me. Obviously in a non-offensive manner to me. Yes, so the Terrapin is a tank that should hide, and its armor is there to get away if it gets seen. However, I probably would see them used in combat a lot for like odd interdiction, well not interdiction, but sort of like defensive escorts in certain situations. Yes, I think they need a reason to have third person. I like the idea of drones and render to texture, cameras and stuff, belly cams. Yeah, so people back for different reasons, don't they? And people have got different. Everyone's got a different idea of every mechanic and how the game's going to work and come out, and everyone has got different level of expectations of times and release dates, and will get irked and I hate to use the word triggered by certain things. I will be playing some Star Citizen probably tomorrow on stream with the others. I'm going to get some multiplayer on the go. 3.1's out now, so I wanted to get a lot more gameplay on the channel, or at least a lot more compared to what it has been. So have a little bit of gameplay on the channel. What's your opinion about 3.3 and 3.4 game optimization? So 3.3 will probably see the biggest amount of optimization for Star Citizen that we've ever seen. It's object container streaming is coming online. It is needed to have planets, it's needed to have those giant capital ships, and it's needed for the game to work as an MMO. And 3.4, again, lots more optimizations and tweaks to that, but also they're implementing server meshing. Again, that is required for the MMO portion of the game. Oh, the procedural animations are in as well. So you see these feet, the way they were attached to the ground. Procedural animations. Right. Ellis. Kapow. Check out Nariarian channel, because it's cool. He does very, very pretty videos. It must take a fuck ton of editing time. Chuck that on the background for a little while. Spoof. I am going to buy so many spaceships. Oh shit, I didn't. Oh, 1 second. I love your face, whoever that was. Elfwin, thank you very much for a very odd, specific amount of money. $30.76. A lot of money. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Where do we get the new ship weapons introduced in 3.1? So, you can either buy them from the Void Direct store, who I recommend you don't do that. You can get them in electronic access, I believe. Let's actually check to see if that is true. I just assumed it's true, but I didn't actually check. Accounts. My hangar. Electronic access. View weapons. Plasma scanner gun. Have they not been added to the electronic access store yet? What I'm looking at. I don't think they've been added to the electronic access store yet. They have not. Okay, that needs to be added to the store. Hasn't been yet. Do we have... Do-do-do... Do-do-do-do-do-do. They added it to the Voyager Direct store, but not the other. That would be enough. No, they just haven't added them. They haven't added them to purchasable yet. So they will be coming in at some point. They will be added to the store very shortly, I suspect. They also said that we're going to have to melt our old Voyager Direct purchases. So maybe we'll be able to buy and melt them simultaneously. So we'll be able to try out all the weapons. But we need the ability to try these weapons out. So obviously that's not there yet. And they are in the game though. But you're just unable to get them. Which is... In the PTU, you were able to buy a weapon pack for 0 UEC, which gave you access to all of the weapons, like 4 of each of them, or 6 of each of them, or something. So you were able to test them through that, but obviously that is not there. I have an older NVIDIA card, although less old than Star Citizen, and my frame rates are still garbage in 3.1. What do you consider the most low-end card to get decent frames? Most low-end card probably a 970, although they are being phased out now. That's probably the minimum sort of card you're looking at. So let's go back up here because I missed a load of questions. Can I send you a Vermont flag to hang on your wall? Fuck it, why not, Benjamin? Yeah. How can you tell an NPC ship from a player ship? You can't. Potentially by the name, but potentially won't be able to if the player is clever. Download more RAM, dude. Are you a romantic when it comes to the Bandit Merchantman, or totally confused by all those less concept holders still asking when? People are going to be happy with the Bandit Merchantman. It's not something you can ask when for. They'll tell us more in the future. I understand people when being annoyed at waiting. However, you're going to have to wait. It's not something you have that much control of, or even pressure on CIG won't control when they put certain ships out. Object container streaming, have we seen this demonstrated anywhere? Not really. The sort of like mega map is sort of like semi-based on it, so the super quick loading times represent what object container streaming can do, sort of. They allow it there on a scale that streams it in as you move across, so you can. Object container streaming should work pretty well. They've been working on it for a while. It's just going to be buggy as fuck when they first get it in. 3.0 was built with object containers. Object containers are in 3.1. It's just this object container streaming stuff, the optimization of that with big gains, it's not in yet. Besides cities and hero buildings, what new gameplay mechanics could we expect to have when planets are in game? Planets themselves don't add any new gameplay other than being big. Yeah? It's the gameplay area they give us. So it's all the other features that are going in at the same time. Give us new biomes, they give us new ways of doing missions and variants of those missions. You see what I mean? Like the hero landing zones and play like you identified. When you lose your ship, your weapons are lost as well, yeah. You'll be able to insure them separately at a later date, though. Oh, my voice is gone. When do you think we will see insurance for the upgrades and or cargo on your ship? I don't know. They'll obviously be... Well, we need to be able to buy ships in-game first, and we need to be able to buy weapons and other stuff in-game first. So potentially starting with 3.2. There is a big economy polish coming with 3.2, especially if people vote on it. But, okay, so if that gets pushed as one of the major features that they're looking at, the economy and the UI and the shopping experience, then I think we'll have to hold CIG and put pressure on them to make sure weapons and ships are both purchasable in 3.2. I wanted it for 3.0. I thought it was essential for 3.0. And the fact that it's still not in is relatively annoying to me. Like, for me, performance is significantly better in 3.1, and gameplay is significantly more accessible. 5 frames occasionally, I've had fuck. I don't think the eraser will fit in the max. It's too long. I can rate the Octane drives. They're just very expensive for what they are. They're very good. They're top end, but they're so expensive. And getting like a Samsung 960 or a 962, 951, 960. 960 is probably the best and probably a pretty good price. When is Calling All Devs going to be on? I'm going to go for dinner in a bit. And I need to lie down and sleep because I feel fucking rough. Pardon my French. Le fucking rough. Do you think... Need more ballistic gatlings, daka daka daka. Like, I love ballistic weapons. I want more pew pew, daka 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 ballistic weapons. Totally agree with you. Get some orc ships on the go with the Buccaneer. Drake are the closest to orc ships, aren't they? The shipjacker ships actually might be a lot more interesting. Do you find interdiction is disruptive under the current setting? Not as disruptive as it has been when I was testing. Well, you get more stops than I do. Like I will have 1 to 2 and 1 long jumps. You'll probably see the giant worm just on layer 3. So whenever they put the layer system in, which will probably be middle of next year, maybe. Might see new systems this year. It's just unlikely. We might see them in CitizenCon potentially. Yeah, so they need slightly more access to being able to get your ship back in 3.1, 100%. That's probably the main major issue at the moment, the insurance claim stuff. Needs to be much easier to get your ship back. It needs to be less terrible when you lose your ship because of a crash, because people are losing all that money. However, there's not that much money things to spend your money on at the moment. Obviously, that might be different for 3.2. Question, out of all the hardware you've purchased for your setup, is there anything you regret buying or regret not buying? The Octane drive, far too expensive for what it was. The 960 hands lasted them pretty well. Rest of the hardware, no. I don't really regret the Octane drive. I did feel like I was paying like $150 though, effectively to have the saber the saber code in there as well though. Ship prices in game will be massively fluctuating when they first put them in. They will be balanced heavily by the community, so it doesn't matter what they're going to be like when they're put in, because they're going to change very quickly, constantly. And then the price fixer and trade slayer tools that they've got in the game will work them out dynamically based on the system you're in, based on how much iron's being brought in, how much what components are needed for the ships, all that sort of stuff. Do you want me to chuck Do you want me to chuck calling all devs on? Is that what people want? I can put calling all devs on if people want to watch it. Hello, hello, hello. What else have we got? Do we have any other news that I wanted to talk about? The 3.1 ships and vehicles and stuff are still ready for are still on sale. However, I would recommend waiting unless you desperately want something in your hay at the moment. We are running a straw poll for what community game to run this month. It'll either be Rust or NS2, it looks like at the moment. BrisbaneCon is on the 21st of April, so in a couple of weeks. 2.5 weeks. And then everyone's going to be there, Brian Chambers is going to be there, I'm going to be there, lots of questions going to be asked, so that should be cool. I'll make sure I get lots of videos and interviews and stuff there while I'm there. Straw poll not found. I'm the worst. It's two not found. I'm the worst at linking things. Oh, why is this straw poll not working? Is this better? Did that work? Let's see if that works. Do I need to share it? That should work. Yeah, they made tons of progress. It's nice. But people see stuff differently, and I'm totally okay with your point of view and stuff. Just don't browbeat people with it. They don't agree with you. Like, they don't have to agree with you, you don't have to agree with them. It's all good. They said that Star Citizen will scale to more and more threads and cores. So they'll make use of the massive amounts of threads that the Threadrippers have in the future, and it will scale up more and more. I think they said in the short term, like they're aiming for 16 and then 32. So I think 16 they said, rather than 32. They might have like mentioned 32 randomly on like a calling all devs or in the forums or something. I've been having much better experience with the mobiGlass and doors and elevators and things. Still annoyed that the hands don't grip the elevators properly, but yeah, they've gone into detail about dynamic pricing and how they want it to work in the past with TradeSlayer and Price Fixer. I might get it up as an article on the website at some point then, because it's relatively old. I did a video on that. Yeah, it works out the price of components and ships and everything based on the time it takes to make the components with the current prices of units and stuff. There are no new mission givers in 3.1, however there's a lot more access to gameplay and a few other mission-y type things. They are working on new mission givers at the moment. Shall I put on... Do people want calling all devs on? I'll put calling all devs on if you want. We'll see if we can get this working. It's just gone live. Let me chuck it on. Desktop. Kabam. La 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 la. People tell me that's alright, volume-wise.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Calling All Devs, our weekly Q&A series where I take questions from you, the Star Citizen backer, and pose them directly to our Star Citizen developers, usually over Skype. It's one of our ways that we do community engagement and let you guys be part of the process. So these questions are submitted on and they were voted on each and every week, and you can do so yourself on the thread up on Spectrum. It's called Calling All Devs March Questions thread. We're almost ready to start the April thing, probably by...
So... get involved with those things. Like, it's really important when I was talking about people like, should I buy the game yet? Is it worth playing yet? It's not worth it as a sit down and play game yet. It's not a game that you'd go, guys, let's all get this game now. Well, you could, and orcs do have fun with that, but you have to be really wanting to test it out and be like, this is a dream game for me, or whatever. But if you want to sit down and play, just quick and easy gameplay, the accessibility to gameplay in Star Citizen, you have to work for it, which is not something that everyone wants to do, and it only appeals to certain people and certain groups. You do get massive orgs and stuff like that playing Star Citizen, of course. However, what you do definitely want to do is get involved with that 3.2 survey, get involved with the questions threads for things like Calling All Devs, because that allows you to have your say and find out information about the game and CIG then understand what is getting more attention and what to push for. We hold them accountable as a community, and we need to keep on doing that.
By the time you see this, we probably will. We'll just get to it. Today, we are calling Rob Reiniger, designer out of our Austin, Texas
what's up,
studio.
Jared?
Hey, Rob, how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing, man?
I'm doing
Rob.
well. Thank you for taking my call so promptly.
Yeah, no worries, man. What you got for me this week?
I have got a question that has come up quite a few times over the last few weeks. Ever since 3.0 came out, backers have lost the ability to blind quantum jump. We used to be able to do that in 2.6. We've had this question come up on RTV a few times. Todd addressed it, but we weren't quite entirely certain how we were going to go forward with it at that point. So your question, I'm hoping we got a better answer now. It says, currently, you cannot use quantum drive to travel to a point not fixed on the map. In the future of the game, how will the explorers go to faraway places in which there are no points marked on the map?
Yeah.
So some ships will come clean. They did basically say that the Reclaimer would not be clean. It comes dirty. So yeah, that's a very good point. Obviously, some ships will be able to be painted and have different paint styles and stuff as well.
Well, so eventually we want to have the concept of like shipping lanes being like a more sure bet between places. So as you like, we want to have a blind jump that allows you to go, oh, I see a nebula, so I can go and do gas mining out there, or I can scan off in the distance and find things and then jump to different locations. And
doesn't sound like a blind jump.
You're obviously limited by your quantum drive, and that's what's going to make larger ships actually able to travel further out into,
like you scan things down and
space.
teleport to them.
Large mining ships can go deeper into space and explore further out into the reaches of the outer rim. So it's absolutely something that we want. I'm not sure exactly when that's on the schedule, but the next thing I know that we're working on is our feature team is going to be doing quantum linking coming up here, because that was a popular thing that people wanted next. So I would expect to see it sometime in the near future, but not exactly sure when.
Gotcha. I do want to add, you mentioned quantum linking, popular thing.
Very unlikely that Hangar Ready will ever make it back in game. Like, Hangar Ready is a stage that they basically removed.
We do have a feature survey up on the website right now.
Yep.
Quantum linking is not winning the vote at the moment, but remember, we are going to work on all of those features, regardless. It was not a vote to tell us which features to work on. This was a vote just to inform us which ones were your highest priorities, so that we can allocate resources to them as necessary. Maybe the one that wins the vote, gets a couple more, people on the feature team. But we are working on all those features. So quantum linking and all that stuff. And
understand, like the way we have our feature team set up, but they're not always scheduled to release every single quarter. So sometimes we leapfrog with features, because some things are bigger than our 3-month windows right now. So it's definitely what we're working towards, and that's the beginning of advancing the quantum travel feature.
So I just want to say something. So okay, it basically said we'll have blind quantum jumps, and then did not correctly describe what the blind jump is. He said, yeah, you'll be able to like jump to asteroid areas and things, and areas that you've basically scanned down, and interesting things, you'll be able to jump to them. That's not blind jumping. Blind jumping is where you go, I'm being attacked, and just jump in a random direction because you forced quantum travel. I still don't think they'll have that. I think they'll have the ability to scan down areas, you'll see an anomaly, you'll see like a little signature, and then you will be able to go to there. Because otherwise, and then you'll be able to drop nav beacons and stuff like that as well, so you can always jump to them. Other people can see that when you share them. Otherwise, it'll be weird with nav beacons. It just won't be necessary because you'll be able to go, well, I'll plot my own course. I'll never get interdicted because I'll just blind jump, and then the last few 100,000 kilometers I'll just waypoint to. So there needs to be balance there, but that's my opinion.
Moving forward here, so yeah, it's exciting because the quantum link.
He used the wrong words. I think he got a bit confused exactly what he meant by blind jump. I think it was like, well, yeah, you'll be able to jump into areas you don't know about, but I think it will have to be scanned down.
Thinking, at least for me, is being able to group up and travel places together and escort and.
If you're saying realistically, when do we think all the features they've got planned for the game, when will they be in? Expect a beta for the game in 2.5 years. Dean, that seems a reasonable amount of time. And there won't be all the systems in. There'll be like 5 to 10 of the systems in. And then it'll be probably like another year of iterating on those mechanics they've already got in. Making sure the balance is right, basically, for them. And getting a large percentage of the systems in. They've got like 120 planned. Expect like 30, 40 to go when the game's live. And then over the next 10, 15 years, they'll keep on adding more and more content. The ability to play as an alien, more systems, more ships, more lots of stuff.
And do some really cool stuff. So it's exciting. But yeah, free jumps are absolutely coming. So we were literally talking about that the other day. So yeah,
awesome.
look forward to getting that in, man. Anyways,
thank you
cheers.
so much.
Yeah, take care, man. Later.
Bye. All right, thank you so much to Rob Reiniger. And now we go...
I can tell you from going on various office tours that I do not recommend people pay money for ships they can't afford. However, the money they make from ship sales funds the game, and they're not trying to slow the game down because of money. I'm not going, oh, let's make as much money as we can. Every fucking single penny they make from ship sales and make from money now will go into the game. 100% of that money will go into the game in some aspect. And please bear that in mind. It's not, oh, well, they've got an incentive to finish the game. They are fucking trying to finish the game. There is a huge amount of stuff they need to do. They've been bad at scheduling before. The game basically got delayed like a year because the issues with Ilphonic and CIG's communication with them, I think. I can't confirm that, but I think that's what happened. They had bad communication with each other. A lot of shit happened. Delayed the game by like 6 months to a year. There's lots and lots of stuff that CIG do wrong, but generating money is something they're very good at. And I only recommend people buy shit they can super afford if you've got disposable income and you're fully aware of the project, you want to get involved with the project, and you want to pledge to have that, whatever. But them making money from ship sales is not slowing the games, don't let them down.
Overseas to our I'm not going to say he's my favorite designer. I mean, he's close to my favorite designer. I mean, let's see. Let's do a ranking of our designers. You know, John Crew out of Foundry 42 UK. Let's see if he picks up here.
Hello.
Hi, John.
Hi again.
How are you?
That's amazing.
I'm okay, thanks.
I got a question for you. It's kind of an interesting one. I was a little surprised it was voted up. You know, every once in a while, these threads, you know, give us one that's a bit surprising to see so many people glom onto an idea. This one says, "I have a jukebox in my hangar, and it works." So good job there. Can I have a radio or a jukebox or something in my spaceship?
Right. So what we're sort of working on in the background is looking at introducing cockpit flair. So you'll be able to put stuff in your cockpit. They're all going to be items that go on item ports. So you'll have, like we have with all our other items, there'll be sizes on it. So you can't stick a full Big Benny's machine in your dashboard because it won't fit. But you might have a scaled down one. Who knows? But
not with that attitude, you won't.
Certainly, we're bobbleheads. I believe that was one of the earlier stretch goals. That we're aiming for the small cockpit flair items towards the end of the year.
And games.
And then we'll look at expanding that for the rest of the flair items going in the rest of your ship.
All right, cool. So things like the Phoenix were sold with a I think it was a Hartwell piano at one point. So these are all things that will have to be addressed at some point later.
Yeah.
But right now, our immediate focus.
So basically, that was a nothing question. That was, yeah, we're going to have lots of hangar flare, lots of cool stuff. Don't know exactly what yet. That's cool. No worries. Or ship flare. So I want to address some questions there, actually, in the chat. Yeah, 450-ish staff at the moment. They are getting more and more in all the time for various different reasons. What was the other one I saw that I really wanted to talk about? From my office store, there's a lot of stuff they're working on, which they haven't talked about yet.
So I decided to use
at least they're working a lot beyond even 3.4. Thank you very much, the sub, or the host, whatever it was. The host, I love your face. Appreciated. Them making ships is not doing anything other than helping make more money for the game for the longer term. Like, they've got totally different teams doing them. They might make some extra work for QA.
Focus the first iteration.
If they were a team of 12 doing this, then yeah, I'd agree with you. But like 450 plus.
Yes.
Separate teams.
Right, cool. That's all I got, man.
All right then.
I'll let you get back to work.
I'll probably see you next week then.
Probably. All right. Bye.
Right. Bye.
All right, thank you, John Crew. Next up, we are coming back to my home studio here in Los Angeles to none other than Kirk Tomei. We've got 2 questions for Kirk this week I think are going to be perfect for him. Kirk.
Hey, Jared.
How you doing, man?
Good.
All right, I got 2 questions, kind of biggies. These are questions that are both related to some old school misperceptions about Star Citizen, you know, things that were said in previous episodes of Around the Verse or on Spectrum and whatnot that were maybe misunderstood at the time, or things that have changed since then. So these are questions that we've wanted to address for a while. They've come up, they've been voted up, and I think you're the guy for both of them.
Cool.
All right, to start off, this person simply puts, what about ship-to-station docking? Ship-to-ship docking? Ship-to-station docking? What's the deal there?
So,
these are questions they've already gone through.
Ship and ship-to-station docking were planned for quite some time. Unfortunately, they're a little bit in the lower part of the backlog, so we haven't had an opportunity to work on them. But they are in the works, and we do plan to not only allow ships to dock with each other, but also them to dock on specific ports on stations. And this is primarily to allow the transport of both personnel and cargo by using some physical means to transport those commodities in between those areas. I believe part of that will also entail being allowed having ships to dock within the cargo bays of other ships, so we can have dragonflies or not.
So they're getting all the docking tags sorted.
So we are going to medium-sized ships, and then also have some large ships in our supermassive ships that we're going to have later on.
Gotcha. Now, one of the reasons
they need to fix in 3.1 the issues with insurance. They 100% need to do that. We don't want to be exhausting all our ships. I was watching a streamer that was being griefed. He lost all his ships because people were ramming his ships. He was like, well, I can't play now. There needs to be a way of getting your ship back that is not waiting 7 or 8 hours. In the current test builds of Star Citizen. Even if that is going out and resetting your account, even if that is doing a survey about what happened and then it resetting your ships or something, have something, please. Because people aren't going to be happy if they've only got one ship and it gets destroyed and they have to wait an hour. It's bullshit. Like, if we could buy ships in game, yeah. If we could buy extra insurance on our ships so that we just get them back immediately at the start, yeah. But when you lose your cargo ship that's got all of your Alpha UBC in and you can't get it back for 8 hours because you've crashed or something, you've got no money left, that is bullshit. So yeah, totally agree with you with that.
People have been thinking that ship-to-ship docking was somehow not a feature, was gone from Star Citizen, was because when we redid the Cutlass originally had a docking collar in its first implementation when it was sold, and then the first implementation was built. When we redid it recently, the docking collar was removed, and people, for whatever reason, thought that was symbolic of us removing ship-to-ship docking in its entirety. What can you tell us about why that was removed?
So in that particular case, it wasn't symbolic of that feature going away. It really was re-evaluation of the design of the Cutlass itself. Having that docking collar on the floor meant that we lost a lot of valuable real estate for features that we actually.
So I just want to say that of everything I read, the forced ship-to-ship docking, like the docking collar that the Cutlass had, it was removed because they didn't want to do that form of docking from ship to ship when ships are moving or could have the potential of moving, and they wanted to do EVA instead. I'm pretty sure that is correct. Let's just make sure this fully listen to this, because otherwise they
have in the game. One of them is obviously the storage of a cargo within that area. If we had that docking collar smack in the middle of the floor, we lose a lot of real estate for something useful. Also, as the as the Cutlass is more of a deployment vehicle, we felt that having the ability to store really important items for those deployment gameplay and having the access to allow the players that are in the rear section of the the Cutlass, being able to exit the ship quickly is a function that we already have in the game. So there's really a what do we have now and what's useful for the ship.
Gotcha. So ship-to-ship docking and ship-to-station docking still on the docket, still planned for development, just later on down the line.
To me, the ship-to-ship docking, not the parasite docking, not the P-52 and stuff like that in the Merlins in the Constellations was always a thing that they were working towards. I thought it was going to be a lot earlier. They still haven't got it in properly, and where you can connect, disconnect, whatever. But I thought that ship-to-ship docking was not going to be in, and that's what they had EVA for. And I'm pretty sure that's good that it's back in, I suppose. No? They've obviously found some tech that works for it.
We'll need to, at the time when we start implementing, we'll need to, solve problems like, is it going to be weird to have, two Connies, with their the top ends connected together, and what that's going to look like. It doesn't matter in 0G. These are all solutions that we'll need to solve, and problems we'll see when we start investigating it, but it just hasn't happened yet.
All right. Your next question is another biggie. What is the current plan for radar and scanning? Is it still due to have some type of unrelated minigame, or has a more immersive skill-based system been devised similar in scope to the mining mechanics previously demonstrated?
Okay, so that prototype is pretty old. I can tell you right now that the U.S. vehicle features team is currently working on scanning, and it is going to be more immersive. It's not going to be a mini game. It's going to be more closely tied to radar. So we have our passive radar that we have in the game, and what we're going to allow the players to do is use a ping mechanic, and so you can do a 360 ping, or you can do more focused pings that can detect weaker signals and can also have a greater range. We'll also incorporate things like having the ambient signals. So you could have a star that has a really high EM signature that can obscure EM signatures if that's what you're looking for. We'll also have the same thing for IR and then CS. So the CS feature will be interesting because you could hide behind, say, a planet or an asteroid. So that would obscure that particular signature. So it's all going to be signature based. We are going to get rid of that golf swing mechanic that I heard about.
Well, that was a prototype for small ships anyway.
Right. So we improved that interface and we made it a little bit nicer. And there's also going to be some more control using the radar MFD that we're going to incorporate, so that you can determine that cone and the strength. And then so our first iteration of this is going to be that you can do a ping, and that'll give some really low fidelity info back. So we'll have these kind of blobs that show up on the radar that will hint at, hey, there's a couple of things over here that you might take a look at. As you get closer to them, or as you focus your ping and start to really kind of honing in on that area of space that you want to do a more focused scan on, the stronger signals that you get back from that ping will result in greater resolution of those targets. So you can start flying toward them, and as you get closer to them and you get within scanning distance, you'll be able to do a really detailed scan. And the more time you spend on the scan, you'll be able to get more info about that target. So in the case of ships, we'll be able to tell things like owner, faction, ship type, maybe things like cargo, its armament, what
pretty
state
basic
it's in, how damaged
scanning.
it is. We'll also be able to incorporate things like I know that mining is coming online sometime soon, and so we'll be able to populate the universe with entities that are mining deposits. So we'll be able to place them on planets, and then part of the ping info they can get back is, hey, there's this deposit of this particular element that you might want to take a look at. So as you fly over to it, then you could do a detailed scan. It's like, hey, there's uranium here. Do you want to go mine that? And you can make deterministic decisions based on all the info you get back from that first stage of ping and then the second stage of scanning.
Oh, that sounds
so. That basically sounds like with active radars, there's two types of stuff for that. So you've got your passive radar that we will know and use in like Arena Commander or whatever. It shows enemy ships that are in the nearby area or whatever. But you'll be able to do active pings, boop, and that will show, there's potentially something over there. And then you'll be able to also, with that type of scan, that active ping, you'll be able to go, well, I just want to focus it in a small cone forward. Like that, with this amount of strength, or that make me more detectable, or whatever. And you go, beep, and you potentially find something to scan down, and you go, oh, there's an interesting thing over there, and which is potentially what I think that you'd use the blind jumps that they misspoke about. You'd go, oh, there's an interesting anomaly there, I'll go there. When you get there, if it's like an asteroid or something, you can then actively scan it as like a targeted scan, going, what is this made of? Tell me more information. Well, there's a ship. Scan this ship. Tell me more information about ships.
amazing. I don't have anything to add. You hit everything.
Cool,
so
it should be fun. We're in the midst of working on it now, and then we're hoping to get some tier of it in for 2.
All right, cool, man. Well, thank you so much. I'll let you get back to work.
Okay.
All right, take care, Kirk. Bye. All right. Now, last and certainly not least, we go a run row of deaths over to Mark Abent. Mark Abent, senior gameplay programmer. I don't know what his title is these days. Mark, how you doing, man?
Hey, how's it going? I don't
Good.
even know what my title is.
I was gonna say it's titles, man.
Something gameplay. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm often quoted as saying your title is where you start in this place. It's not where you end.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a question for you. One of our most voted
try
on
and get the
questions
BoredGamer voice
was one of our
back.
most voted on questions in February. We didn't get to it. We got March. Quick thread here. Voted up again. When can we expect a more rounded multi-crew piloting experience? The examples they give are co-pilots dealing with power, shields, navigation, etc. in an effective manner.
Item System 2.0?
So the good news is we know all about that. We have it actually in our big gigantic backlog. And our backlog has a bunch of stuff like how we want to give players control. Like if I'm in a pilot and I have a co-pilot, I want to give this guy to his services. Go, hey, you could have this now. And we have even more crazy stuff like how power, heat, and all that balance stuff could go. And it's just a gigantic thing in their backlog. But because it's in our backlog, it's going to take time to. Because it's in our backlog, it's going to take time to get to those things. The good news is we actually have a European vehicle team now run by a guy named Paul A. And he is taking a lot of the pressure off of our end to look into those things so that we can cooperate and build these things so that we can get to them. So to go back to your question of when, soon TM.
Yes. I respect your decision to do Paul A. instead of attempting to pronounce his last name.
I am bad at pronouncing people's names. I mean,
am legendary. Legendarily bad.
Things in the code because I have misspelling things like laser bold. So I'm just going to be safe and say Paul A. He's awesome. And we actually had him here for a week in LA to get him up to speed so that he could take over some of these things.
Yeah. This is one of those things happening. Remember, you got the folks at home or at work or wherever you're watching this, in your car, on your phone or whatever. The feature survey that's up on the website now, allowing you to vote. Right now, the front runner is the item 2.0 feature improvements and stuff, and these are the kind of things that will go directly to the sort of thing that we're talking about right now. So, so we know, you know, it's coming. We're working on it, but it's just too early to say like when. Yeah, that's basically what the question was. The question was essentially a when question, and we're not going to be able to give you a when just yet, but we're on it. All right, Mark, we'll let you go, man. Thanks a lot.
Cool. Talk to you guys later.
Take it easy.
Bye.
Well, that about wraps up this week's show. Special thanks to Mark Abent and Rob Reiniger and John Crew and Kirk Tomei for being on the show today.
So that was that. Let's answer some more questions before I go for din-dins. Learned a little bit more, I suppose, about a couple of things, although it's pretty much stuff they've previously talked about, reconfirming that. Interesting that ship-to-ship docking is now back on the cards. Yeah, that's pretty cool. How long does it take to download all of the game packages for Star Citizen? Huh? Don't know what you mean. Question: when most people think of space, they think of exploring and finding random adventures. Were they more than just humanoids? Any plans for more varied interactions with strange and unknown? Yeah, I mean, they've talked about having other aliens. It's just the sentient, normal aliens that we interact with that have spaceships are all humanoid or bipedal at the moment. That might change in the future. There's going to be interesting wildlife. There's going to be interesting aliens. They've talked about having like Geiger-esque xenomorph encounters as well. Oh, the battles between me and Kit, the angry battles, are like I think you described them as parents fighting, or Zin did. Parents fighting, or maybe it's me and Zin fought. It's like parents fighting, I don't fucking remember. When we were fighting in Evolve. Grumpy monkey. Any other questions? Them relationships has very, very little effect on fixing and performance. If anything, them releasing ships allows them to do more bug fixing and performance because they make more money and they have bigger teams, and they're eventually going to have lots of ships in the game anyway, so, you know. Yeah, the more features they add, the more bugs that produces, and the longer it takes to get stability.
I'm going to buy so many
kind of balance that.
spaceships.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nemesis. Sexy bald egg. I mean, what has it been stuck? Penis? In 4K will be so sweet. Oh. I don't know what word that was you used, but I'm assuming it was love. Something. Oh, my ass. Oh. Hot. What is the penguin ship? It's the Avenger. Oh, so Avenger Titan is a good shout to upgrade from the Mustang Alpha to an Avenger. The Avenger Titan is a good little upgrade for not very much money. You will be able to buy everything in game, so. Right, any more questiones? Any idea of the Return of the Sandworm? When the Lear system's in? I expect the Lear system in potentially next year. Potentially. What's the best way to make money right now in 3.1? I don't know. I need to test the exploits that I used to use in 3.0. See if they work. I'll do a video on that. I think Squid of Love's done a relatively good video on making money in 3.1. So it's worth checking out. Don't know when we're going to see the other cool combined arms and interesting modes in Vandalstorm and in Star Marine and in Marine Commander in general. I'd love to be able to board ships. I'd love to be able to defend ships. I'd love to be able to run around Idris in Star Marine. We'll have to wait and see. We might see more medical components this year, like field medic stuff from items in the game. I had a much better experience with 3.1 than I've had with previous Star Citizen patches. Criminal missions are the best for money right now in 3.1. Interesting. Right. Is anyone from BoredGamer streaming? 250 people to unload. What's G doing? Let's see. I can't see G stream. Is anyone streaming the Star Citizens? Ba 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 ba. Do you know when the power units and other modules are going to be nickable when you're able to disable them, etc.? Well, you want to be able to remove them, change them out, and repair them. So probably with the repair mechanics. So 3.2 and more likely 3.3 with that sort of stuff. Right, Matachi's giving away a 1080 Ti, so we're going to go and host him because, you know, that seems reasonable. Right. No worries. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Thank you very much for the donations. Thank you very much for the subs. Thank you very much for watching. Well, I'm gonna post Matachi's stuff here, and then I suppose I better host G. As G's actually come online this channel. So Matachi is streaming some Star Citizen. He has a 1080 Ti giveaway. Love his face, but we need to go support G if G's channel is actually online. So you can choose where you go. Oh, it has come online now. He's doing some Diablo 3. We'll give him some love. No. Not if I can't work out how to words. Alright, Mr. G. I want that 1080 Ti, mate. G. Oh. Matty. There we go. Give G some love, or give him Matachi some love. Your choice. I'm not your dad. I'm not your fucking dad. Do you think they'll make ship HP higher? They're going to keep on tweaking that. Expect the larger ships to have higher times to kill, though. They'll mess around with that loads. I think YouTube's just being a bit funny at the moment. Love you guys. See you in a bit. Mwah. Right. Take care, guys. I gotta go eat.